Hello, just got in.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever you are in the wonderful world of Tottenham Hotspur. This is Thfc till I die, home of Spurs. Great past, great present, and even better future under Ange Postecoglou. So Dermot's having a day off today, so this will be a kind of a shortened show, just with a bit of news that's flying around. Spurs news, a bit of a chat about the international matches that took place over the last few days, and a bit of Spurs development news, things that are going on around the stadium over the next few months, which will be financially beneficial to the club in the long run. So anyway, let's see what with that quick chat about the matches last night. I want to, first of all, I think we have to commiserate with Wales. I mean, they got through to the final playoff game against Poland last night. A Polish team that didn't manage a shot on target the entire 120 minutes plus, and then only one poorly kicked penalty by David James saw Poland going through. So I thought it was very, very tough. And I want to say something here. I mean, I know Ben Davies mightn't be everybody's most favourite player. To me, he's a good, decent squad player, but I think last night his reputation went through the roof. First of all, he was the captain of Wales, right? Secondly, he stood up and took the first penalty, which is never easy to do in a shootout. It's normally your striker takes the penalty. Ben Davies said, no, it's mine, I'm taking it. And at the end of the match, when everybody was absolutely on the floor, he rallied the troops, he got the team into a huddle, and he was giving them a real, lecture on this is not, this was a great achievement to get this far. Don't be downhearted, etc., etc. So all I can say, I'm immensely proud of Ben Davies and what he did last night. And I mean, he's gone up in my estimations. I always liked him as a player. I know he's got his limitations when it comes to Tottenham, and maybe our standards are so high he doesn't always meet them. But I think last night a lot of people will be looking at him in a different light. And also, he also got his UEFA coaching badges yesterday. So he's got his eye on the future. He can now coach up to, I think, under 18 teams, plus other teams announced in the Premier League. So he's one for the future there. And I said, well done, Ben Davies. That's all I'm going to say on that one. And Wembley One is in the chat. And then Wembley One is absolutely so grateful for this. It's a super chat where he's saying, afternoon, guys. I was proud of Ben Davies last night, even after the game when you could see he was really rallying the squad in the huddle. Like, I'm sure he was dying in between after losing. But I thought also what was great, the Welsh crowd stayed back and sang that team off the pitch, which is really, really good. I mean, they're a penalty shootout's a lottery. It could have gone either way. And it's just unfortunate. Although I knew when I was watching the penalty shootout and I saw Dan James, I said, he's not going to score from this one. There's something about his body language when he was going up. He just didn't look comfortable. And Chesney made a comfortable save. I was hoping he'd encroached and the referee might take it again and make it take it again, but not to be. Hard luck to Wales. But isn't it very, very pointing that there were 6 clubs up for the 3 places last night. And the 3 teams that went through, Ukraine, Georgia, and Poland, are all from Eastern Europe. Whereas the other 3 teams, Iceland, Wales, and Greece, are from southern and, well, I know Iceland and Northern Europe as well. But so it just shows you that the Eastern Bloc is rising again. And can I also say I'm delighted for the team from Ukraine. I mean, I know Mudryk scored the winning goal and he's a hero and he's a Chelsea player and I don't fancy him. But, for the whole people of Ukraine, to have something to latch on to during the terrible ordeal that they're going through at the moment, it's magnificent for that team to get to the Euros in the summer. So well done to the Ukraine. And let's hope that they do very well when they're out there. I'm sure they will. And Wembley One again. Wembley One. Thank you so much for that super chat. It's really, really appreciated. You're saying spot on. Well, hopefully you're agreeing with what I'm saying. And Wembley again is saying he's destined for coaching management when he retires. He's an impressive pro and a guy. He seems to be a very level-headed sort of a guy. A bit of an intelligent player, well spoken. Knows what he's talking about. And I was reading during the week as well, which was something I hadn't heard of before. His wife had a baby recently, and Sonny Boy is the godfather. So apparently himself and son are very, very close. I presume they've both been at the club a long number of years, and that's where that comes from. Pardon me, I have to keep sipping water here. I still have this cough. So anyway, that's Wembley. Now, other internationals last night. England. After being beaten by Brazil the other night, now I have to say I did not see really comment on it too much, but it was nice to see Jan Vertonghen on the pitch at one stage for Belgium. Anyway, even nicer to see James Maddison produce an absolutely stunning pass for the equaliser from Jude Bellingham. But I think the questions are still out about England. What's the best players? Who are the best players in the various positions? the young Man United player, did very well for himself last night. I think he's played himself into the squad. I can never remember that guy's name, but you know who I'm talking about. And it was, I'm glad in the way James Maddison only got 27 minutes. At least he's going to be fresh for Luton on Saturday. And Richarlison from Brazil, I don't think he even got on at all. I mean, maybe he got on last night against Spain, but I was disappointed he didn't get a goal against England on Saturday night there. Now I'll move on to the elephant in the room, the Irish team. After a good performance against Belgium, when we should have beaten them but didn't, it was 0 each. Turned up against Switzerland last night. Now, a Swiss team has already qualified for the Euros. Decent enough team. Players like Granit Xhaka and Shaqiri in the team, they're always going to give you a good game, and they did. They played us very, very well. And it was a case of Ireland not recreating the good performance of Saturday night. And in fact, Switzerland were quite comfortable winners, to be honest. I know it was only 1-0, but it was only for about maybe 10 or 15 minutes near the end that Ireland ever really laid a finger on them. I'm going to be critical of a couple of players here. One player in particular, I thought Evan Ferguson was woeful again. I mean, this is a young lad who hasn't scored in 22 matches now. And at the start of the season, he was a great white hope. He was worth £1 million. He was going to this, he was going to do that. At the moment, he couldn't hit a barn door from 5 yards. So, apologies again. So that's Evan Ferguson. To me, Ireland didn't look anyway threatening at all until Adam Ida, the Norwich City player, was on loan at Celtic, came on, and at least he put himself about a bit and almost, created a couple of chances. So disappointing result from Ireland. A lot of players didn't reach the standard they reached against Belgium. And one player that worried me a little bit, I know I was banging on about we should have bought this guy last summer, is the goalkeeper, Gavin Mazuma, whatever you call him, from Southampton. Now, he was at fault, I think, for the goal. His positioning was poor. It was a good free kick by Shaqiri. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a great free kick, but I think a lot of goalkeepers would have saved it. Venom would have saved it. That's the way I put it. But his distribution was awful. It was like watching a throwback to the 70s. Every time he got the ball, he hoofed it up the pitch, and invariably went to a Swiss player. So I'm a bit disappointed in Bazuma now. I think Kevin Kelleher, the Liverpool guy, has got that goalkeeping spot sewn up now for the more competitive matches, And Leslie's actually saying here, this is a great result for Northern Ireland. This is Leslie Crawford saying this. Great goal from Conor Bradley. Like, Conor Bradley is becoming one of the revelations of the season. He's an ex-GEA player from County Tyrone, and who's made his way into the Liverpool team and is more or less making the left back spot or his right back spot his own. And scored a goal last night. And Scotland are no dozers. Scotland are, good team at home. Northern Ireland, a bit like us, they're in transition. I think they're usually in transition, and they got a win, which is really, really good. And I'm gonna go back to the Welsh game a bit. I was going to mention this later on, but yeah, I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine who I watched the extra time and the penalties of the Welsh game. I didn't see the whole because of the Irish game, but he's a Manchester United fan. His honest assessment of Johnson was he was crap. That was what he said. He was crap. That's why he was taken off. So he played well again in the first game, when they won 4-1. But he can't go for 90 minutes, huffing and puffing after 60. He needs to man up. I see it for Spurs. Now, I would have thought fitness level should not be a problem with the Spurs team. The Spurs team is fit. So whether Johnson just had the occasion got to him or whatever, you've got to allow that. I mean, it's a huge occasion, a playoff to get to a European Championships on your home ground, in Cardiff, in front of all those fans. Some players react better than others, and he obviously did not react too well last night. So, that was... Let's hope he's back on Saturday. I have a feeling we might see Richarlison featuring against Luton on Saturday. Isn't it great, though, to have a game back at 3 o'clock Saturday kick after that debacle against Fulham 2 weeks ago? I mean, we've got to go out there all guns blazing. I don't want to see anything less than a convincing win. I'm not going to make it a score prediction, but we cannot allow Luton to come and get it to us. We've got to get at them straight away and put them on the back foot. We score early, they'll buckle, and we need to increase our goal difference because that could be crucial. Our goal difference is slightly worse than Villa's at the minute, so we need to do a job on the goal difference on Saturday. And we'll discuss the Spurs game a little bit later on. Just a few things. Again, this will be a shortened show, but we'll keep it going for another half an hour, 45 minutes. A few things to come up with. This is nothing to do with the actual footballing side, but it's to do with the financial side of the game. Spurs have been given the green light to build a 30-story hotel on the southwest side of the ground and near the Park Lane, and the junction of Park Lane and the High Road. And because the site is so narrow, it's going up. It's like a blade going up like that. 180 rooms, 49 apartments, which will be sold off, and obviously with London house prices, that'll probably raise about 30 or 40 million. And then the 65 car park spaces, I think. So it's due to be finished in time for the 2028 Euros, which games of which have been played at our stadium. So it's regeneration of the Tottenham area. Now, I know people are going to say, well, why isn't the money being spent on the team? This was all part of the planning permission to get the new stadium approved back in 2016, 2017. So I actually think it's a brilliant addition to the area. Look at the local employment it's going to bring. It's going to bring people into the area that wouldn't normally be in Tottenham. Because let's face it, and with due respect to anybody living in the Tottenham area, it's not the type of place in London you go for a stroll at 10 o'clock at night on your own. So it's increasing the sort of the standard, if you like, of the area. With a big hotel like that, the restaurants and the local bars will all benefit from it. It means people might stay in the area after the game rather than driving out of it, like we all do, So again, it's one of things, like, we can criticize Daniel Levy, and he's been criticized heavily here and will continue to be if he does things wrong. But I think for the financial future of the club, we are leading the way here with all the Premiership League clubs, with financial fair play causing havoc at the likes of Nottingham Forest and hopefully soon Chelsea. We're not going that route, and long may it continue. So that's the new stadium. When building commences, I don't know. Probably pretty shortly. The planning is fully through now, so I imagine they won't hang around. I'm sure they've all the builders and everything lined up to do that. And again, this bit here, we've discussed it already. Really, it's tough on our Welsh lads. I mean, we had three Welsh players in the team last night. We've discussed Ben Davies, and we've discussed Brendan Johnson and Joe Rodon. Also, the last thing I saw, Joe Rodon was flat on his face, crying his eyes out at the end of the game. The guy that's on loan at Leeds and will probably join Leeds during the summer. He's having a great summer with Leeds, great season with Leeds. So again, hard luck to the Welsh lads. Now this one. Now, before you all wet yourselves with excitement, this is not a permanent transfer or anywhere like it. Spurs announced today that Bayern Munich are coming to Tottenham for a friendly game. I think it's on the 10th of August. Tickets go on sale tomorrow, I think, for members. And the game is at 5:30 in the evening. Now, I'd just like to thank Tottenham for that. I would have gone to that match if it had been a 3 o'clock kickoff, because I could have flown in and flown out again the same evening. I'm not going to pay exorbitant London hotel prices on an August weekend. So the 5:30 kickoff rules me out because there's no flights. The last flight at a Stansted is 9 o'clock, and there's no way I'd be there in time for a match finishes at 7:30. So that's that. But it'd be great to see Harry Kane back at the stadium, and I hope he gets the reception that he deserves. And it'll be one of our last pre-season games, I think. And let's hope that. Excuse me again. This cough is driving me daft. Let's hope that we show Bayern Munich. We still owe them for that 7-2 defeat back in 2018. I think it was I think it was at Wembley. So we owe them one. Maybe it was 19. Maybe it was. Yeah. But anyway, the year I'm talking about. 19. Yeah, I think it was 2019. So that's Harry Kane coming back. I see he missed the 2 English games, but he is back in training with Bayern Munich today. So he'll probably be there for their looking like fruitless attempt to catch Bayer Leverkusen. Doesn't look like they're going to do it. I think Bayer Leverkusen are quids in on that one, you know. And talking of Spurs strikers, this is a young lad who I think deserves a run. He played for England under 21s in 2 matches over the weekend, and he scored a hat-trick in one. He came on as a sub in the second one and scored 2 more. So Dane Scarlett scored 5 goals for England under 20s. That's not to be sniffed at. That is good play by Dane Scarlett. And you know, he'll hopefully get a run on the bench on Saturday against Luton. I think when they put him in there now when he's hot, because I think a player like him could actually do very well against defence at Luton. Big guys, he's small, he's wiry, he's getting around them. And there's one other piece of news, and it won't surprise you that nobody wants Tanguy Ndombele. I was just reading there before we came on there that let's see now what the story is now. Yeah, apparently he's had another disagreement with his manager, which is nothing new, and yeah, now he's playing Galatasaray at the moment, right? And apparently he's had a falling out with the manager is Okan Buruk, whoever he is, and he apparently, now this won't surprise anybody, he was caught in a fast food restaurant shortly after being told to lose weight. So you can imagine, you know, that just sums him up, doesn't it? I mean, the guy's on 200 grand a week and he can't even stay fit. So I don't think Spurs will want to offload him. His contract doesn't expire for another year. So at least we can get something for him if we sell him in the summer. But we're not going to get a quarter, a tenth of what we paid for the guy. And, you know, it's sad, really. I mean, the fella has more talent than a lot of players have in a little finger. He's just too bloody lazy to keep himself fit and to keep himself adjusted to the conditions that he's playing in. I mean, in Turkey, you know, the atmospheres of those games should be enough to inspire anybody to play. But I don't know what's wrong with the guy. He's obviously got some little mental block that he just cannot see that his talent has been wasted. Let's see if there's any more comments here. Just go back through the comments on this one. This is back in the hotel. Destiny 5 is saying, I think the hotel was funded by government grants, so hopefully it won't affect our summer transfer business. No, I think there may well be grants involved, but I think all that development money is ring fenced. It's away from the football. It won't affect our transfer budget. No, it won't. It won't. And some people might say, well, wouldn't it be better spending 100 million on players? But I think, you know, the bigger picture is to develop the area hand in hand with developing the team. And I think, you know, we should be happy enough the way things are going. This is the first season of the Ange revolution, and look how far we're up the league, you know. Pushing for Champions League is great. And Leslie Crawford is saying nobody wants Belly or his 200k a week. Exactly. That's exactly it. It's just a total waste of money, a total waste of talent. And I think the sooner we get rid of him, I'm assuming Galatasaray are paying some of those wages. We're not paying it all. But I think that he's had his chance. He hasn't taken it, and it's goodbye to Tanguy Ndombele come the summer. Now, I just want to see if there's anything else we need to talk about football-wise. There appears to be more crisis at Manchester United, if you can believe what's going on. They're saying here that... let's see what they're saying here. Yeah, they're saying about Marcus Rashford, right? There's debate whether Marcus Rashford should be in England starting a level ahead of Saka and Phil Foden. Now, I reckon Saka and Foden. Now, I know Saka's an Arsenal player and wouldn't be high in my estimations, but he's a good player, I have to say. And Phil Foden is a very good player. Rashford is too hot and cold, and I don't think that Rashford deserves his place in that team. And also, it seems there's a bit more disharmony in the Manchester United ranks as well. Yeah, there's some revelations about Diogo Dalot that's the United player, the fullback, I think it is. He's being a fan of his international and former club teammate Diogo Costa, thus taking a proverbial piss on Andre Onana's cornflakes. Comes fresh woe for crisis-ridden Manchester United as Scott McTominay takes aim at Eric Ten Hag by praising his Scotland manager Steve Clarke. So Scott McTominay is saying that Steve Clarke is a better manager than Eric Ten Hag. Anyway, listen, the more trouble at Manchester United, the better. That's all I can say. Keep them at us. And Leslie's saying, Spurs are apparently back in talk with Wigan Nusa about a possible summer transfer. Yeah, he was mentioned in the dispatches last summer, which would be a decent enough player to come back in. And I think Spurs are going to be very busy. There's going to be, I reckon, a dozen players, up to a dozen players leaving the club in the summer. I think first out the door will be Ryan Sessegnon. The poor lad just can't get fit. There'll be other players like Angball will be going. I think probably Pierre-Emile Højbjerg will probably out the door as well. There's a lot of fringe players going, squad players that won't get much of a chance of making it into the side. We'll be doing a discussion on that later on in the season when it gets nearer to the end to see who will survive the cut, and who won't, and who do we want to replace them. Because next season, we qualify for the Champions League, which we will do. Hopefully we will do. And I think English clubs are now in pole position, possibly to go fifth because of the way the clubs are left in Europe. So it's actually ironic that we probably need Arsenal to do well in Europe, to beat Bayern Munich, to keep us in the chance of getting fifth place Champions League, if that's the way it's going to go. That's a quandary. Do you want Arsenal to win something to get Spurs into Europe, or would you rather Arsenal got hammered by Bayern and we didn't get into the Champions League? So it's a tricky one to answer that, And I think that's it all. Now we're just on for just under the half hour here. Again, there'll be more build up to the Luton game coming up tomorrow night. There's the podcast, the Unholy Trinity, is back, and we have a new member on it tomorrow night. I don't know what we're going to call her. It's Mia. She has been called the Virgin Mary, but I don't know if that's quite accurate. Dermot and myself, I will be doing it. We'll be talking all things Tottenham, and because it's after the Watershed 9 o'clock on Thursday night, it might get a bit spicy. And hopefully you'll all tune in for that. Dermot's back tomorrow at 4 o'clock doing the news beat, the Daily Hotspur. And I will see you tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. And as always, keep the faith. Tottenham are on the up. Hopefully the word of Chelsea's points deduction isn't too far down the road now. And when it comes, I know you'll all join me in saying we hope it's not too much. He said sardonically. Let's hope that they get a good 15, 20-point deduction, something that puts them down near the bottom of the league where they deserve, because, we don't like Chelsea. Now, if you just bear with me now, I'm just searching to get the end videos here, because there's so many videos here to say goodbye on, and just bear with me a second now. And this is it. Anyway, see you tomorrow.